Simplicity is not the absence of clutter. That's a consequence of simplicity. Simplicity is somehow essentially describing the purpose and place of an object and product. The absence of clutter is just a clutter-free product. That's not simple. Jonathan Ive. And my friends, what we work so hard to do here for you every day is to focus on simplicity. We are looking for price movement. That is what we are concerned about. We are looking for patterns over time. We have discovered that the best pattern that we have been able to find is a weekly vertical crossover. That occurs when the price percent oscillator crosses over the red signal line, going either up or down. We saw in the COVID crash back on the week ending the 28th of February, we then had 5 down candles after that of lots of down movement. Following that, when the market recovered significantly enough, started topping at an area, and then started zooming up from there back on the weekly vertical crossover for the week ending the 8th of May, we had a crossover going up. And of course, that crossover has continued until what might be at the end of the week for the S&P 500, another crossover going down. Hasn't happened yet. We haven't called it yet, but it looks like it's getting close. Remember, you never call a candle until there is a close of that candle. 2-day candles take 2 days. Weekly candles take 5 days. Half-day candles take half a day, 195 minutes. So again, we will sort through these charts. We appreciate you being with us. Appreciate our Patreon supporters, our book buyers. Let's jump into this. Oh, we've got a special training, of course, in your show notes today for all the subscribers. Subscribe for free, chartingwealth.com. S&P 500 up for the day, 1.02%. Now again, big down day on Monday. A little bit of a recovery here on Tuesday. We'll continue to watch and see how things sort through as the week goes forward. We can see the price percent oscillator has been heading down, going into the 3rd week of strong down movement, the strongest week so far, just 2 days into a 5-day candle. Now, there's lots of room for things to turn around. This candle could shrink, could go green even. Don't know that that's going to happen with all this downward pressure, but anything's possible. We don't call a candle till it's drawn. See, the derivative oscillator has gone negative. Look at the 2-day candle now. 2-day candles, of course, take 2 days. The prior candle was Thursday and Friday of last week. This candle, Monday and Tuesday of this week. Big, strong red down candle with a wick on the bottom, no wick on top. We see how the price percent oscillator has been over, heading down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Go to the half-day chart. We can see where on that chart things bottomed on Monday morning and then started backing up and moving up some on Monday afternoon. Well, it lost some of that downward momentum, then up Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon. Price percent oscillator is still negative. Derivative oscillator's negative, losing downward momentum. So we'll just watch, wait and see how things shake out. Your biggest thing to always be concerned about is where that big weekly chart is. Next to that's the 2-day. And then the last consideration is the half-day. We look at that just to sort of see inter-day movement. That's why we watch that and pay attention to it. Now let's go to the Qs. That's the NASDAQ 100. And those who've been following us, you know we had a weekly vertical crossover. Don't know why that line shifted on me. Had a weekly vertical crossover this last week. That was Friday the 18th of September. And what do we see drawing? Well, another red down candle heading down. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading down. 2-day chart still heading down. Derivative oscillator maybe a little less than flat. And we see again a red down candle forming. Now a longer wick than we might have expected. That means there was a bit of a pullback, and for the day up 1.86%. But of course, still have the weekly vertical crossover in effect. 2-day is still heading down. Let's look at the half day. Similar to what we saw in the S&P, We had a pull back in the down movement on Monday afternoon, up movement in the morning and the afternoon on Tuesday. Did have a crossover on the half-day chart at the end of the day. So again, we'll put that in our notes. That is your daily market worksheet that hopefully you fill out every day. Pay attention to that. See what that's going to show us as we move forward. But again, still have that weekly vertical crossover in effect with that 2-day heading down. We'll watch these bigger charts. Pay attention to them as this week continues to progress. We, of course, jumped in on Friday afternoon to that weekly vertical crossover going down on a practice trade on the NASDAQ 100. We'll see how that continues to develop. What do we see when we go to bonds? Well, still negative on the weekly chart. Again, still heading down, derivative oscillator negative, losing a little bit of downward momentum. What do we see as we look at the candles? Lots of indecision for the week ending the 11th of September. The 18th of September, things are trying to move up as we watch and see. Again, we broke through that weekly trend line, I guess, last week. So we see that, again, price percent oscillator still heading down just a little bit. Go to the 2-day chart. Hasn't crossed over yet, but the price percent oscillator is heading up. Derivative oscillator now for 6 days has been positive. Just now with this latest 2-day candle has it pushed through the prior 2-day trend line. Not much of a trend line, but it has done that. And we look at the half-day chart. What do we see there? Saw where things boomed up on Monday morning and then just sort of sideways, maybe down a little bit since then. Lots of indecision. So what are we waiting for? Just waiting to see what's going to happen with bonds. I think bonds are waiting to see what's going to happen with the market. The market continues to boom down. What typically happens? Money goes into bonds if the stock market's not doing well. Money goes out of bonds and into stocks if stocks are doing well. So typically they move inversely. We'll wait and see how things settle out and may very well see bonds take off going up. But right now, we're not seeing that. So keep the powder dry, pay attention. We'll see what happens. Lastly, we go to gold. What do we see going on with gold? Gold down for the day, 0.48%. Nice down candle. Remember, we had that weekly vertical crossover back on September the 11th, that Friday. Of course, we had the following week, not so good, trying to move up a little bit. And then this week, moving back in the right direction. The magic of the weekly vertical crossover. We see the price percent oscillator pulling away from the red signal line, derivative oscillator heading down. We talk about how accurate our weekly vertical crossovers are. This would be, let's see, so far we've had 15 now for the year. The ones that we've tracked that have closed out at this point, 13. Of those, 12 of those 13 worked. I don't know I guess we could go ahead with the amount of down movement. What we look for is at least 2% or more. Now, when we look at our priors for this year, they range anywhere from 33% to 4.6 or something like that. So we've had a great deal of success. I guess we could probably go ahead and call gold in that category, but I would want to see just how far it runs. For those of you who jumped into that down trade, it is hard to find an inverse fund in gold that is not, I haven't been able to find one that is not highly illiquid. So I hope that many of you practiced purchasing a practice put on this. Of course, you can paper trade if you use TC2000, which is the charting software. It's really not software. I actually use the web version of TC2000. It's the charting platform that we use. It is absolutely amazing. We love it, and it allows you to paper trade on it. So I hope those of you who are subscribing to it are making use of it. If you want to subscribe, if you're looking for a good trading platform, check it out. Look in your show notes. You can see in any of the notes, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's at our website, whether you're listening to a podcast, you'll see in those notes a discount code. If you decide to subscribe, it'll save you 25 bucks. But again, I don't see anything better. Hopefully some of you did that trade and either have closed that trade out or are continuing to watch as gold continues to move down. That is nice to see. We look at the 2-day, check it out. Nice big red down candle. We see that price percent oscillator spiking over, going down. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. What do we see on the half-day chart? We saw things slowing down in the down movement on Monday afternoon and Tuesday morning, and then, of course, heading on down Tuesday afternoon. Quite beautiful. So again, haven't reached that peak that we slammed down to, and as I told you guys earlier, this candle on Monday morning is the reason you put in a good till canceled sell order with the profit that you hope to receive, or at least half of that trade. You go ahead and put in a good till canceled sell order so you can capture spikes down in a down move or spikes up in an up move. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day on Tuesday, go into Wednesday. Thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. Don't forget, you support us there at Patreon, you get our 3-part training, Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. That is available to you along with our short chart training, long chart training, Bitcoin training, backtracking training, all sorts of good stuff. And don't forget, we do have coming up for our Patreon supporters, that live question and answer call-in session is coming to you the first week of October. If you want to go ahead and start getting your questions into us, we are happy to take those now. If you have stocks or ETFs you want us to review to help you with your practice trading, we are here and available to do that. Go ahead, fire those off to us, cw@chartingwealth.com. That next meeting is Wednesday, October 7th. Put it on your calendar, 12:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We love to have our friends all over the world with us, everybody in the States, Canada. Thank you so much, my friends. God bless. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.